it. Hi, Bob. Let me guess, it's 9 a.m. where you are in Australia. Is that right? Let's see this. Yeah, perfect. Yes, indeed. Gotta get everything set up. I'm not doing as much today as I have in the past. I feel like the last couple of times it was really fun, but I mean, it was just like hours and hours of work at the end of the weekend. And by the end of those like 4 or 5 hours, the last couple of times, I was so tired. So I'm not doing as much today, but I'm still looking forward to all the food. All right, gotta get this plugged in. Oh, all right, you can see that. yet, Bob. I'm starting with the smoothies. My favorite go-to smoothies. So it's the beet smoothie. It's got banana, blueberries, coconut milk or coconut water, almond milk, a few other things. Hi, John. Good to see you here. I think I've seen you in a previous live. Thanks for tuning in. I just got back from a run and I just was so busy this weekend, I didn't have a chance to make one of these smoothies beforehand, but I love going for runs and then coming home and having one of these smoothies just waiting for me because I'm so, thirsty and in need of replenishment after running. So I'm thinking I'm going to have part of this batch right now, but I'm making smoothies for the week. I just love this smoothie. As someone who really hates beets, just by themselves, this smoothie has become such a life hack. Because I do want to eat beets because I know how good they are for you. I'm going to turn this back on just so it's blending. All right, the beets are going in, or I should say beet. It's one beet that I've chopped up right here. So I roasted these beets I'm using yesterday, and they're really coloring my hands right now. But I've chopped this up into pieces, and then I'm just gonna put this all in there, and then quickly wash my hands so they're not completely stained. And pancakes are next. So I'm thinking of doing the smoothies and the quinoa first, just because they're so fast, super easy. I've made them 1,000 times at this point. And then I'm going to save the pancakes for last, because those are what I'm eating for dinner tonight. Oh, I love having pancakes for dinner. So it's going to be smoothies first, then quinoa, then the pancakes. That's the order we're doing tonight. That's such a cool recommendation, Bob. I hadn't thought of that, but I feel like beets would give chocolate cake such a wonderful color. So I will keep that in mind. I would definitely try that. Yeah, for me, it's all about getting my intake of beets without having to taste the flavor of beets, because it has forever reminded me of just eating dirt because they're root vegetables. So of course, I would expect there to be some flavor resembling the earth, but I personally don't want that flavor when I'm eating something. But I know they're so good for you, and everyone says you should eat beets. So that sounds like a great way to have beets in addition to this smoothie. Okay, so I'm gonna add a little bit of this lemon juice. Just try to catch whatever got onto the sides of the blender. And then pulse this down. And then that'll be the end of this batch. I think I got everything in here. There's like 2 more little blueberries hanging out in here. Cool. I have seen recipes on my go-to vegan sites, Bob, that are brownies with black beans. I feel like I've had those before actually, but it's been a very long time. But I've had them before and I couldn't taste the beans. I mean, I think if you told someone they were bean brownies, they would think it's gross. But I've had them and I thought they tasted just like regular brownies. And of course, you're getting protein from the beans, which is such a win when you're eating dessert. Alrighty, first batch is done. And I'm doing the beet smoothies first because, it's Sunday night. People are typically winding down and getting ready for work tomorrow. And because I have a neighbor just on the other side of this wall over here, anytime I'm making something that's going to make noise in my kitchen, I try to do it earlier rather than later because I don't want to keep someone up by accident. So that is the primary reason that I'm doing the smoothies first. The second reason being I am very in need of some replenishment after going running this afternoon. So I'm just going to have one of these guys to kind of tide me over before I make the pancakes. Just put this back. All right, so I'll seal up one of these guys. And then I'm just going to start having this one. Oh, cool. Tahini cookies. Wow. So many good recommendations. I just ordered a bunch of flour. I have just a little bit left. I was doing a lot of baking this weekend because my birthday's on Friday and I'm making a surprise cake. But anyways, I have some of this flour right here for pancakes for tonight. And then I just ordered more of this King Arthur gluten-free flour. And I've been kind of wanting to do more desserts lately because I had really fun making the chocolate chip cookie long form video with all the shorts. I think that was this past week. I love baking. I love desserts. It's so fun. I don't mind cooking, but baking is definitely my preferred of the two. So thank you, John. I love my birthday. I mean, I love having birthdays. It's just, I can remember things I've done for like each one of my birthdays. I can remember where I was, who I celebrated with. Yes, so my birthday is coming up. Super excited. And my family typically kind of does like birthday week. So there's like a week of celebration and fun stuff. And I am planning on vlogging my birthday, like what I do on my birthday. I've done that since my 27th birthday. And I just plan on doing that continuously, which is really fun because honestly, thinking ahead, I really think it'll be fun to look back when hopefully I make it to like, my 80s, my 90s, but just looking back and having this digital archive of all my birthdays from my 20s, my 30s, my 40s, all the way up to whatever age I'm at. So yes, I will be documenting my birthday. My sister and I, happy birthday for Friday, Hannah. Thank you, Bob. Yes, it's Friday the 13th. I love 13. It's my lucky number. I know there's a lot of superstition around 13, but I personally love the number 13. Love my birthday. So in honor of Friday the 13th, I'm actually going to go and see a new scary movie coming out that has James McAvoy in it, and he's pretty famous. He was in Atonement. He was Mr. Tumnus in Chronicles of Narnia. I mean, he's been everywhere. Split. He has a new movie coming out called Speak No Evil. It's actually a remake of a Danish film, but I watched the trailer. It looks amazing. So, and I saw that it's coming out on Friday the 13th, on this coming Friday. So I messaged my sister because she and I really enjoy watching scary movies, and she was totally up for going to see Speak No Evil. So that's going to be on Friday evening. I also took Friday off of work because I just don't like working on my birthday if I can help it. And, if it's on a weekend, that's one thing. But if it's during the week, I try to take that day off if I have the time. So I put in my vacation request and it's all good with my team. So I'm not working on my birthday, which should be very fun. So yes, birthday week is nearly upon us. I love it. I know some people don't like their birthdays or are kind of neutral about their birthdays, but I just love it. It's like, okay, one more year, I've made it. And I've learned a lot. I mean, the last year has been amazing. So I look forward to what the next year brings. All right, batch number 2 underway. Just trying to get all the stuff off the sides as much as I can. Let's see. Dude, really can't tell the beans are even in them. They just taste like yummy brownies. Yep, plus, as you said, protein plus. Yeah, okay. I'm going to take some notes here because I keep a running memo on my phone with recipe ideas, and I've been wanting to do more desserty, sweet baking episodes because I think I primarily do cooking. So I'm going to take a moment here and add those 2 that you recommended, Bob and John. So I'm going to do, let's see, I'm going to add tahini, was it cookies? Yes, tahini cookies. And I have a load of tahini in my fridge right now. And then black bean brownies. Perfect. Thank you. I love the ideas. Keeping it fresh because obviously I can Google stuff and just look around, but I also like hearing from people who watch my channel. All right, 1 cup of almond milk going in here. Whew. I also have a tiny little bit of potato salad left in my fridge, which I think is going up tomorrow. Yeah, it's going up tomorrow at 3. So I might snack on that a little bit while I'm getting these smoothies done. Blueberries next. I got my big old bag of wild blueberries. Try not to spill. tea. Let's do some ginger. And then I'm going to blend while I chop up the beets. Yeah, honestly, I love hearing all the recommendations that you have. Some things that it never even occurred to me to make. And then I was like, that's a great idea. I'll do that. Whew. All right, banana slices going in. Oh my gosh. Trying not to make a mess here, especially because it's beet and that can stain if you're not careful. One of the reasons I wear black in the kitchen, because things just can end up everywhere. Okay, so now for another beet that I'm going to peel. All right, second roasted beet, all chopped up, ready to go. And I try to set them in there pretty carefully so it just doesn't go, the blueberry and the beet part of the smoothie doesn't go everywhere and stain my countertop because it is white. So let's blend this for about a minute. A little bit of lemon juice to finish this off. All right. 2 more. Oh. All right, round 3. Let's get just this cutting board cleaned off before I start with the 3rd batch. All right, back to the coconut water, and let's grab my 1 cup. Rinse this out. And almond milk. I'm just going to finish off this carton since there's just a little bit left. And banana next. I bought these bananas a few days ago when they were pretty green and underripe, and now they are just the perfect ripeness for a smoothie. They're nice and soft, they're yellow, but they're not that sickly overripe level of sweet, which I just love. They're really good for baking too at this point. All right. Gonna slice this up. I just like slicing my bananas for anything I'm making, whether it's brownies, cookies, a smoothie, banana bread. I just always have done that. All right. Ooh. And let's get the blueberries in there too. All right. Just chugging along. right, another roasted beet going in here. I think the best thing about beets is their color. They're just so pretty. Ooh. I feel like I'm constantly washing my hands whenever I'm doing a live stream because there's just stuff that I'm using that can stain or just, I don't know, get everywhere. So, let's get this one. I think I already added ginger in here, so I'm gonna continue blending this. Right, last bit of lemon juice. And I think I might call this good on the smoothies since I've got now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, this will give me, like 5 days worth of smoothies. Even though I do have a couple more bananas and a couple more beets in my oven that I roasted, I think I'm just gonna let that be for now instead of just continuing to make smoothies for the next 20 minutes or so. This is plenty. And I don't mind, whipping up a couple more smoothies midweek. This is a good start. Okay, one last little blend. Oops. Right, looks great. So let's get these poured out. And I think I'm going to be one lid shy. Something I just got to bite the bullet and buy myself more mason jars with lids, because I don't know how this happened, but I just ended up with too few lids. So I'm going to have to probably use tin foil to seal off one of these guys. And I'm just going to give the last little bit to myself to sip on this evening. This is going to be part of my dinner, I've decided. Okay, so here's one lid, the last lid I've got, unless I missed. Oh, I did miss one. Awesome. I have one lid over there. Perfect. So I can seal both these off. Oh, I feel like they just float around my apartment. I can't keep track of them all. So let's get this on there, and that is going to be the end of the smoothie prep, which should leave us plenty of time for both the quinoa and the pancakes, because the quinoa literally takes like 2 seconds. Just gonna quick do a little rinse this out. I'm going to do a little cleanup before I move on to the quinoa. Put all these guys away, although I might actually leave this almond milk out for the pancakes. Okay. So now I'm going to set the bananas back over here. I'm going to fill this guy up because I'm going to need 4 cups of water for the quinoa. And then let's get the smoothie base, or blender base, I should say, put away. Just trying to keep everything tidy. And let's unplug this. I'm going to plug my phone back in because I'm going to be using it to reference the pancake recipe. Oops. And then ginger and this lid. All right. Awesome. All right, so quinoa, I've done this before on a live stream at least, I want to say a couple of times. So I'm first gonna rinse off a couple cups of dry, uncooked quinoa. But first, I'm just seeing that I spilled smoothie in more places than I thought. So I just want to get this off my countertop so the blueberry and beet color doesn't stain. Okay, so now I'm going to grab my quinoa, which is down here. And I guess I have to, you know what, I'm just going to use a half cup because my 1 cup is currently in the sink, very dirty from the beans. So let me grab my half cup out of the dishwasher. I was using it earlier today to do some baking for a cake episode that's going to go up later, well, this coming week, I should say. Very, very busy. I actually had a botched batch of cake that I made yesterday, and it just didn't turn out the way I wanted it to. So I had to refilm everything earlier today. It was fun though, honestly. I didn't mind it too much. It was just unfortunate that the first attempt, you know, all that filming is not going to be used. But that's how it goes sometimes. And one more thing I'm going to grab. I'm going to grab the saucepan to make this quinoa. And since it's a large batch, I'm going to use this like broader saucepan to cook it in. Okay, let's get this quinoa rinsed off. So I just get this organic Good and Gather brand from Target. Ooh. All right, looks good. I'm gonna rinse it off using this little sieve I've had for ages. I just love it. All right. So there's 1/2 of a cup. I'm just going to put it right in there. Second 1/2 of a cup. Hopefully you can see that. Yep. Good. I hate when I'm doing something and I look up and it's not even on camera because I didn't position my computer well enough. So, rinse this out. I'm excited to get to the pancakes. They sound so good, and I'm very hungry. The thing I love about this quinoa is it's really just rinsing it off, getting it into the saucepan, and then just adding the water, the oil, the garlic powder, and then you just cook it away on your stovetop and kind of forget about it for about 20 minutes. It's really very hands-off for the most part. All right. This is my 3rd 1/2 of a cup. Oh, almost done. Almost done rinsing the quinoa. And then it's pancake time. Whew. And there's going to be 6 teaspoons of garlic powder going in here. Sounds like a lot, but it tastes amazing. All right, final 1/2 of a cup coming up. Can't wait. Can never go wrong with pancakes, I know. I've been thinking about doing another pancake episode sometime soon. As I mentioned earlier, I'm gonna have a ton of flour on my hands because I just ordered another one of these monster packs of gluten-free flour off of Amazon this past week. And so I was like, okay, what can I do with a bunch of flour? I could do cookies, brownies. I want to do the black bean brownies that Bob mentioned, and then the tahini cookies, but also pancakes. I love making pancakes. They're so fun. They're so delicious. And I think I've done a couple of pancake episodes on this channel so far. I did one with teff flour, which was really fun. I loved that one. And then I did a regular, like, fluffy pancake episode. All right, almost done. Almost done with rinsing the quinoa. Oh my goodness. Lots of rinsing. Okay. Just about there. Okay, got it all. All right, so I'm gonna put the quinoa away. There you go. There's the 2 cups of rinsed quinoa. And let's get the quinoa put back into my little pantry area, which is just a lower shelf next to my oven. And then I think I want to do the garlic powder next. So I'm going to need a teaspoon. I think I washed my teaspoon. Yeah. So 6 teaspoons of garlic powder coming up. Nice and garlicky quinoa. This has become, I would say, my number 1 staple dish. I wouldn't even call it a dish, really. It's just cooked quinoa with some like garlic and vegan butter. It's not like an elaborate dish, but it's just nice to have in my fridge so that I can quickly eat something if I'm short on time. All right, so 6 scoops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And honestly, just a little extra because I'm a garlic fiend. I absolutely love it. And this is the garlic powder that I'm using. Another thing I order from Target. I order so much stuff from Target. And now I'm gonna grab my vegan butter. It's actually sitting right here. I left it out so that I could soften. So I'm gonna add about 2 tablespoons of this Country Crock plant butter made with avocado oil. I love this stuff. It's so good. And you can tell it's really like softened because it's just been sitting at room temperature. My apartment is about 72, I think, 72 degrees, maybe a little bit warmer. I'm just gonna eyeball this. So I just, to save time, I just take a butter knife and then I'm like, that kind of looks like a tablespoon. So I just scoop it out of here and just plop it in. That looks about right. Okay, I'm just gonna leave this butter over here, and I left it out knowing that I would use it for both the quinoa and for my pancakes, because I do love to put a little bit of butter on my pancakes. So that's what the mixture is looking like. Now we just have to add the 4 cups of water, and then it's gonna go on the stovetop. So I'm just gonna grab my measuring cup, which was also in my dishwasher. And this is a 2-cup measuring cup, so I'm gonna measure 1, 2, and just pour it right in there. And then 3 and 4. All right, and it doesn't have to be perfect. All right, so that's basically it. The only other thing that I have to add to the quinoa, and I usually do this while it's just on the stovetop and boiling, is I drop in about 4 teaspoons of this Better Than Bouillon vegetable base. And the formula for how you add this in is 1 teaspoon of vegetable stock for every 1 cup of water. So there's 4 in here, 4 cups of water. So I'll add 4 teaspoons of this, but it doesn't have to go in right now. I just kind of like getting a move on and plopping this right on my stovetop. And I just like to add a timer to kind of like remind myself in case I'm doing something else and I completely forget about the quinoa that's on the stovetop, because it takes a while for it to actually come to a boil. And then from that point on, I reduce it to a simmer and then let it cook for about 15. So I just kind of set a 10-minute timer just to remind myself, like, I'll go and check on the quinoa to see if it's boiling. So that's pretty much it for the quinoa. I'm going to give it just a little bit of a stir so that there aren't like clumps of garlic powder in here. And then I'm just gonna move right along to the pancakes. All right. Perfect. We are done with that. I'm just gonna, I don't think I used this much. Maybe just, I think I'm gonna put this back on top of my fridge. So now finally we have gotten to the pancake part of this live. And let me just, I'm gonna pull up the recipe here on my phone. I roughly know it, but I wanna make sure I get all my measurements right. And I'll also drop it in the chat so you guys can follow along too. Oh, Bob, I missed your comments. I wish Target here had half the stuff the US. Yeah, it's wild. I mean, Target is based here in Minneapolis. So, I mean, I feel like being where Target is headquartered is helpful because they're probably going to have the maximum amount of stuff they have to offer right here in their own backyard. But it's just kind of become an assumption that Target has everything that I need. And that's pretty much been the case where I'm like, oh, I need this ingredient, I need that ingredient. And then I just Google and sure enough, they have it. And there's so many Target locations where I live too. There's like, I think there's like 4 I can think of that are within, I don't know, like a 10-minute drive from where I live. It's very nice. It's very convenient. Is making quinoa similar to the method for making couscous? That's a great question. I don't think I've ever made couscous before, Bob. So I can't answer that question, but I will add couscous to my cooking list. All right, so for the pancakes, I am going with Nora Cooks. She is like one of the recipe queens of my life. So I'm just gonna get that in. I'm gonna scooch you guys closer so I don't have to reach as far. Nora Cooks Simple Vegan Pancakes. I think that's what I'm using. Yes, Simple Vegan Pancakes. I just really love her stuff. It's so good. So easy to follow, simple ingredients. So Boom. There you go. If you're curious to know the recipe I'm following, that is what I'm following. Okay. For a second there, I thought I exited out of the stream. I was like, shoot. Okay, I'm going to tip this down just a tiny bit so you can see and push you back, but not off the edge. Okay, so let me grab my glass bowl that I'll use to mix together the pancake batter. Oh gosh, I'm looking for all of my stuff because I was so busy cooking and baking this weekend that I was just washing stuff repeatedly. So I feel like most of the stuff I need for cooking tonight is in my dishwasher. So that's, if you're curious to know why I'm going back and forth so much, it's because so much of the stuff I had to wash earlier. All right, so I believe she starts off her recipe with mixing together the large ingredients, so the flour, baking powder, salt, and sugar. So let's see. I think I'm going to make a full batch of this. Last time I did this recipe, I only did half because I didn't want tons and tons of pancakes sitting around, but this time I am just going to do the full program. So 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour. In this case, I'm using 1.5 cups of gluten-free flour. And I'm going to go back to my good old 1/2 cup measuring cup, just a little bit wet. All right. I've kind of forgotten about this smoothie here. I have not made quinoa yet. It's super expensive here though. Oh, really? I feel like it's not that expensive here. Whenever I've purchased it, I want to say that bag that I just showed you is like $8 to $9. I could be wrong. I need to check, but it's not a price that's so high where I'm like, oh my God, that's super high. Like I buy it all the time. I wonder why it's so expensive in Australia. I love it so much because as a vegan, quinoa is a complete protein. So that's just, it's so nice and it's so easy to make. And I actually like it as a stand-in for other starchy carbs like rice or wheat. All right, there's 1/2 cup. I just love this King Arthur brand of flour. I want to make a pilgrimage in my life to the King Arthur baking. I think they call it a school and they sell goods there. It's like a shop, but also an actual place where you can learn how to bake. I believe it's in Vermont, but I haven't gone. I would love to. I love this flour. And it's also been around for ages. Like, I don't know if you can see on the front of this, but on their logo, it says King Arthur Baking Company, established 1790. Yeah, the United States was, not that old at that point. Crazy. Okay, so here's my 1.5 cups of flour. I'm gonna put this away. Oh my gosh, I have too much flour going on up here, guys. So much flour. I'm just knocking stuff everywhere. Okay. And I think I need baking powder, not soda. I have my baking soda right here, but reading Nora's recipe, I actually think it's powder. So I'm gonna put this away. Oh my gosh, I have made the mistake before. Oof. Making something with baking soda when instead you're supposed to use baking powder is so gross because you get this like nasty, acrid. I mean, I feel like everyone's tasted baking soda by itself. It's just so bitter and unpleasant. So, yeah, not trying to make that mistake. I have made that mistake with pancakes. They rise beautifully because this is a great rising agent, but the flavor is so harsh compared to baking powder. So I'm going to put this back before I make that mistake. And I'm still looking for my baking powder. I know it's up here. There we go. Put this down here. Oof. All right. Baking powder. I have to put 1 tablespoon of baking powder in here. So let's find my tablespoon. It's somewhere. Oh, here it is. 1 tablespoon of baking powder. Getting a little low. I'm noticing. All right. And then there's 1 1/2 teaspoon of salt and 2 tablespoons of sugar. I'm actually going to use coconut flour instead of the sugar, just because it's a little bit healthier than sugar. Okay, salt, which I left out for myself. And I need 1/2 of a teaspoon of this. I'm just going to use 1/4 of a teaspoon twice since that was on hand. So 1/4 and 1/2. And the last dry ingredient is the 2 tablespoons of granulated sugar, but we're going to do coconut flour because I've got it on hand. It's healthier and I love the flavor of it too. So there's 1 and there's 2. Beautiful. So those are all the dry ingredients. I'm gonna put this away. Ooh. There we go. Ooh, and the quinoa is boiling, which is exciting. So I'm gonna stir this just a little bit. This is actually great timing. So I am going to quickly take this soup base, which I showed you earlier, and just drop 4 teaspoons into the quinoa now that it's boiling. And I'm going to set the timer for 15 minutes. That's usually how long I let the quinoa boil in order to cook fully on my stovetop. So we will get back to the pancakes momentarily. This is all of the dry ingredients. So I'll move on to the wet ingredients, but just a second. Let me tend to the quinoa. right, one little stir and we'll be back to the pancakes. Oh, this looks so good. I'm loving it. Okay, so quinoa is just gonna cook while I work on the pancakes. So now let's first stir these dry ingredients with a spoon. Super simple. And then let's see what I have to add in here. So the only wet ingredients, there's just 3 of them. There's 1 cup of almond milk, 1/2 cup of water, and 2 tablespoons of oil. I'm debating which oil I should use. I think I might go with coconut oil, just because I have a ton of it. All right. So this is looking pretty well mixed. Pretty simple, basic pancake flour. So I'm gonna quickly melt down my coconut oil because it's solid at room temperature, but I'd like to add it as a liquid. This is just my big old container of coconut oil. So I'm gonna stick this in my microwave without the lid because the lid is metal. And then let's just measure out the 1 cup of almond milk. I've got that right over here. All right, just give this a little shake. I've noticed that if I don't shake my cartons of almond milk, there is a bit of separation. It doesn't really bother me, but I prefer to have my almond milk not be separated. Okay, so there's 1 cup of this stuff. Let's just measure that out. And I think I'm actually gonna add a little bit more only because I added that coconut flour, and let me tell you, coconut flour just like absorbs so much liquid. I've noticed in all of the recipes I've made with it so far. Pancakes, cookies, the Anzac biscuit episode I recently did. Oh my God. Anything with coconut flour, you just have to add more liquid to. It just absorbs everything. So there's the 1 cup of almond milk. And then let's do 1/2 cup of water. Seriously, this is so easy. And you know what I'm realizing, which is silly? I did not even get my skillet started, so oops. That's okay. We can get to that in a second. All right, and then, what was it? 2 tablespoons of the coconut oil I decided I'm gonna use. I probably could have used extra virgin olive oil in here, but sometimes you can get the olivey flavor in whatever you're making. So I just didn't want pancakes that had a hint of olive oil flavor. It just didn't sound good to me. But I do have a lot of olive oil on hand. I think, I'm not seeing it in her recipe, but I do love kind of customizing pancakes. So what I'm gonna do is add a little bit of vanilla And then actually, I think I want to add a little bit of acid too, because there is the baking powder. And just to help these guys rise a little bit, I figure it can't hurt to add a little bit of acid. And I'm one of those people who doesn't really like a lot of lumps in their flour, in their batter, so I try to get it pretty well combined. And one benefit of using gluten-free flour is you're not going to run into the issue of working up gluten. Like if you stir regular wheat flour too much, it can become just super rubbery and stretchy because you've overworked the gluten in the flour. But gluten-free flour doesn't have gluten. So I don't worry as much about overmixing my pancake batter when I use gluten-free flour. Okay, my microwave has been yelling at me, so I'm gonna go grab my melted coconut oil. And I'm also gonna go and set my skillet on the stovetop. All right, looking good. So let's get the skillet on here. And I think I'm gonna do two, just to keep things moving. I might try to bring you guys closer actually, so you can see what's going on over here, since you're very far away right now. All right, so, I need to melt this a little more. All right. Looking good. Okay, so I am just gonna kind of eyeball this. Actually, let me grab a spoon instead of a knife. Large spoon. Okay, about 2 tablespoons. Doesn't need to be exact. And like I said earlier, I think I'm just gonna add a little bit of, I've decided on apple cider vinegar, because I think that'll just help these rise a bit. Okay, apple cider vinegar over here. Ready for pancakes. Oh, can't wait. Just trying to get out any last little lumps I see. A few are fine. I just don't want massive lumps of flour. All right, just a tiny bit of this. If I add too much, it'll be like very vinegary and sour, which I don't want. And vanilla, I almost forgot. Tiny bit of vanilla too. Okay. Looks good. I'm very happy with how that's looking. I'm just gonna give my skillets maybe like a couple more minutes to heat up. And I might try to bring you guys over to my countertop that's right next to the stovetop so you can see what's going on. Because I don't like trying to talk to you when I'm all the way over there and kind of shouting over my shoulder at you. So here's what the pancake batter is looking like. Pretty standard, nothing fancy. I have actually added some of my frozen blueberries to this pancake batter in the past. I think I'm just gonna keep it simple though for today. Part of the reason being I actually have fresh fruits that I'm gonna be eating my pancakes with, and I included those in the thumbnail for this live. So I got some raspberries and some blackberries from my grocery store. So I'll take those out at the end. Oh my gosh, I'm hungry. Whew. So hungry. All right, I think what I'm gonna do is try to move you guys over here. God, I hope this doesn't like completely mess up my setup. Let's unplug. We're just gonna experiment here and see if this works. All right, I'm gonna kill the ring light I've got on over there. And let's see if I can bring you guys over here. You can actually see what's going on. Yeah, okay, I think that works. I just need to turn up the light a bit more. Okay, perfect. I think that's a good view. And then I'll move you back just a tiny bit. Okay, this is great. I don't know why I didn't do this on my other lives. So you can see the quinoa right over here. And this is just about done. There's like 2 minutes left on the timer. I know you can't really see my face. Let me see if I can kind of do that. Yeah, okay, that works. Except now you can't really see the pancake skillet. So for now, you're just gonna have to maybe like deal with not seeing all of my face. It's unfortunately kind of a trade-off. Let's see if I can do that. Mom made the same mistake with mixing up baking powder and baking soda. Oh no, oh shoot. Yeah, it's really, the baking soda, baking powder mix-up is truly horrible. It's so bad. Okay, so I'm gonna let this quinoa finish up. And so I'm gonna grab my coconut oil, which I melted. Gosh, I wish there was a better vantage point for this, but I just don't think there is. My countertop has its limits. I'm really trying to make this work, guys. Let's see. So there's my face and there's the skillets. I think that's the best I can do with the space I've got. Okay. You can kind of see me. All right. So let's get some of this coconut oil on my skillets. I'm just going to use this knife over here. And these are kind of feeling hot, which is good. I usually just will dip my little knife or spoon into the oil and then drop a tiny bit of oil into the skillet right before I spoon the pancakes on. Oh, the quinoa is steaming in my face. Okay, so there's the oil. That was the quinoa timer, so I'm gonna move it off the hot burner. And now I'm gonna go grab my pancake batter. A lot going on. Actually, I think it would be fun if I could maybe scooch this guy over here so then you can kind of see me better. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe I'll start over here since it was heating up over there. We're just kind of experimenting. Okay, so I've grabbed a 1/3 of a cup and I'm just gonna scoop it on to the skillet. And judging by the lack of sizzle, I don't think that skillet was hot enough. But you know what? It'll still cook. That's fine. The first couple of pancakes are usually kind of a dud. That one sounded better. And I have typically cooked these pancakes for about 3.5 minutes per side. So let's do that. 3:30. Boom. Okay. Great. You can see those. I think ideally they would be on these burners over here. So then you could see my face as well. I'm just going to go grab my smoothie. And wait. I'll give you a close-up in the meantime of the quinoa. Hopefully it won't steam up my computer camera, but it really puffed up nicely. It's very heavy holding this. And I think eventually I'll just throw the quinoa into some meal prep containers. I might grab a few right now, actually, just so you can see them. So I'm planning to just divvy up the quinoa into these meal prep containers eventually. I'll turn this up just a little bit so you can see me. And you can kind of see this one right here. I know there's a lot going on here. Oh, that bums me out, John, that your mom was wanting to impress when she made that swap, when she made that mistake. If only it would have been just for herself, because I've made that mistake only cooking for myself, never to impress a group of people. I would be very disappointed if I mixed up those two ingredients and it was for friends. So here's my spatula that I'll be using. The key with pancakes is just the waiting and judging to see if they look cooked enough. I think this little one might need a little more time than the bigger skillet, but we'll see. Also, as a little hint for the episode that's going up on Friday, which is my birthday, I'll show you what I was baking this weekend. And this is one of 3. And that's all I'm going to say. But that's a little hint of what you will see this coming week on Friday. All right, there's about 10 seconds left. I think I might just go ahead and flip this back one and see. Here, let me tip this down so you're seeing exactly what I'm doing. So I'm going to start back here. Hopefully they didn't get too dark. Cute. Nice and golden brown. I suspect this one, though, this is going to be very light, which is okay. Yeah, that's fine. And then the second side, I usually do about 3, but let me just up the heat on the smaller skillet. Okay, based on what Bob said, it looks like my reconfiguration worked. Now you can see the bottom of my microwave. Not the best vantage point, but you know, ideally my counter would be just a lot longer this direction, but my fridge is right there. So this is, you know, as holistic of a view as I could get you. And while I'm waiting, I'm gonna grab a large plate to put these pancakes on. Oh my gosh, Haystacks, hi. Let's get you some GoPros for the stove. That's so funny. I think that's a great idea. I actually have thought about getting GoPros not for anything cooking or baking or kitchen related, but actually for when I'm out on runs, hikes. I feel like I spend a lot of time on my feet outside going to different places, and or even for like a race, because I'm training for a 10-mile race in about a month. It's the first weekend in October. And I actually subscribe to a lot of runner YouTubers, and they wear GoPros so that, you know, if you're running, say, like the Boston Marathon or the London Marathon or some kind of like ultra Ironman thing, they film the whole thing so that anyone who's planning on doing that race has a good idea of what the course is going to look like. But I feel like, yes, a GoPro would be so helpful, because I subscribe to a lot of food content on YouTube, and I love those aerial shots that you get, like the bird's eye view of what someone's cooking in their, whatever it is, skillet or soup pot, skillet. I'm trying to think of other things I've seen. Just if they're mixing something in a large bowl, like salsa or soup. So yes. Oh my gosh. There's so many upgrades I can think of. Speaking of which, I am getting the new iPhone 16. It goes on pre-order on Friday, which is my birthday. So I am gifting myself an iPhone 16 for my birthday, and I plan on using that for this channel. My friend does triathlons and are used to keep it good. Oh, I guess the novelty wore off. Yeah, I find them really helpful. I mean, I like to have kind of a visual idea of what I'm getting myself into, whether it's a recipe or a race. All right, so that looks beautifully cooked on the underside. Ooh, as I almost drop it. So let's get that on the plate. So that burner feels pretty hot. I'm just gonna scooch this one off, even though it's a little paler. That's fine. Okay, so time to drop on some more coconut oil. Yeah, I'm very excited to start using my new iPhone 16 for vlogging purposes because, oh my goodness, I have an Android that is a prehistoric fossil at this point. I want to say it's the Galaxy S8. I got it in winter of 2018 to give you a sense of how old it is. And I love that phone so much, but honestly, like the camera quality compared to current iPhones, it just looks very grainy. There's a bit of a delay time. So I'm sad to part with my Galaxy, but you know, I've had that phone for a very, very long time, and I do think I got the most use out of it. So I'm excited to start doing live streams with my iPhone and just filming shorts with my iPhone. Should be very fun. I just got upgraded from the iPhone 8 at work. Whoa, nice. Very nice. Yeah, I have an iPhone for work as well. I don't know what model it is. It seems pretty old though, because I've looked at my sister's phone, and she has, I want to say she has like a 14 or she might have a 15 actually. It's very nice, very just beautiful camera, like so clear. It looks professional, her photos. Yeah, my iPhone for work works perfectly fine, but it definitely doesn't feel as high resolution modern as my sister's does. So yes, expect to see more iPhone content. One thing I'm super excited about as far as live streams go is with YouTube. So currently I'm doing this live stream on my laptop, which is a horizontal format. So you're seeing this video as like a horizontal format. But once you hit 1,000 subscribers, that's when YouTube allows you to do live streams from your phone. So I'm very close to 1,000. Last I checked, it was like 950. So, oh my gosh, I cannot wait. I'm so excited to cross the 1,000 subscriber mark for many reasons, but definitely for the vertical stream, because on your phone, the display won't look like this. It'll look like the shorts form where it is like mobile phone vertical format. I know 50. It's really ticked up quickly. I think my recent vlog that I did and a bunch of shorts on those chocolate chip cookies I made, people really liked those. So a couple of the shorts have done really well. So I've noticed recently, like over the past week, I really had some, like there was just like this constant upticking in the subscriber count. So yeah, my goal initially was to hit 1K on my birthday, which is on Friday. I think I'm going to need a little bit more time than that, which is fine. I'm going to predict that I'll cross the 1,000 subscriber mark like in a couple of weeks. So by, I would say like the 21st or the 22nd of September. And I'm trying to crank out a ton of content just, like to quicken the amount of time, or to shorten the amount of time that it takes to get there. So, oh my gosh, CL Hinton, hi. I didn't think I'd make it before you finished. Hi, everybody. Oh my gosh, hello. Thank you for dropping in. I love seeing the, I don't want to call you like the OG crew, but just it's like, and also Usual Suspects doesn't sound good either, but it's like Bob, John, Haystacks the Great, and CL Hinton. I feel like I always see you guys in the comment section in the chat on lives. So hello. I wasn't sure what time to do today because I feel like Sunday night can be really tricky because now American football, for my like non-American people here, the NFL just started. Like the Chiefs just played the Ravens, I think on Friday. The Minnesota Vikings played this afternoon at 12. I don't know how we did, but we're not very good, to be honest. But I feel like Sundays can be so, like now that football season is underway, I'm like, oh shoot, like, what time? Like, should I even do Sundays now that football season has started? Because I know so many people, their whole Sunday is basically just watching football. Like my sister, for example, great example, case in point. My sister, who lives very close to where I live, she invited me over to her place because she was watching the Minnesota Vikings first season game this weekend with her boyfriend and my mom brought the family dog over. And so she was sending me videos and I was like, I just don't think I can swing it today because I'm too busy. I was prepping for the live and I had to go for a run today. And there was a couple other things I had to get done. So yeah, I'm kind of tinkering with the idea of doing lives on weeknights or maybe on Saturdays. I don't know. I just don't think I've done enough where I kind of get a sense of like prime time live stream times. That's when my neighbor was shouting at his TV. I know. It's like, it's funny because like I didn't notice it at least this summer. It was like, like weekends, everyone's busy out doing stuff. And then this weekend, all of my news updates, like I was out in my neighborhood today, the number of Minnesota Vikings jerseys, hats, scarves, I was just like, wow, like it is clearly football season again because everybody was representing the Vikings today. So football in the US is Sunday night. Yes, Sunday night football is, and it's not just Sunday. No, I feel like growing up, I just clearly remember it being Sunday night because I wanted to stay up late, but I had school the next day on Monday, which I found very annoying. But it's I think Monday Night Football is the thing, maybe Thursday. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Sunday is game day, 100%. Like, I know the Vikes were playing this afternoon at noon, and then I think there's some games this evening as well. So, like, in my head, all of Sunday is just somewhere in the US, there is a game going on between NFL teams. And it's really fun because you get to Sunday and you're like, well, I know there's some game I can tune into. Like, I have the Peacock streaming app on my TV. And so I was clicking around looking for games. And I forget who was playing, but I was like, wow, I could just watch all these different games right now. So yeah, Sunday for sure. But I want to say Monday night and Thursday night are the other nights. But don't quote me on those 2 days. I could be wrong. Yeah, I love football season, but man, it's crazy. People get really into it. I watch for entertainment purposes. I can't get myself too worked up about football. If there's one sport I'm invested in, it's the British, like the English Premier League, which is soccer, which is like soccer football. And I just love watching those teams. Unfortunately, they were on a break this weekend because I went into my Peacock app and I was looking for like, who did Manchester City play? Who did Arsenal play? Who did Crystal Palace? I was like, I have my teams that I love to watch. And then I was like, there's no games. What happened? And they were on a break this weekend, which was very disappointing. Oh, and college football is Saturdays. And I only find out when I've made the mistake of venturing out on a Saturday. Oh, wow. Yeah, it's college ball. I personally don't watch. Not that I don't like it. I think for me personally, though, I just like to watch professional athletes because college kids, a lot of them are going to go pro, or some of them at least. But I feel like just NFL is so crazy. And I feel like I've noticed the difference between watching college ball and NFL football. Because some of these NFL guys, goodness gracious, they are just crazy. The ones who go straight from high school to NFL, I'm like, dang, that's a flex. Super impressive. All right. Third round. Australia and Australians, to a large extent, sport obsessed, to the exclusion of everything else. Funny. All right, let's get this third round. I think there might be 4 rounds. That's my guess. Oh. Beautiful. God, I love pancakes. I have been obsessed with pancakes for so much of my life. I will never forget. If someone were to ask me, what's your favorite Christmas present that you've ever received in your life? My first would be a life-size Barbie and a Barbie hotel that I got when I was like maybe 12 because I just loved Barbie dolls growing up. And then my second, very close second, was a pancake skillet that my family got for me because I'd fallen in love with making pancakes and I would just make them all the time. And my mom, when I was little, would be standing there like monitoring me to make sure, I didn't burn anything or, the gas wasn't getting everywhere without being lit on the stovetop. But I think it was my sister who wrapped that pancake skillet present, and she did not make any effort to disguise what it was. It was literally like a huge skillet shape and then like one long handle. And so she handed it to me and I was like, well, I know what this is. It's my brand new, very own pancake skillet. And I think my parents still have it at the family house. I don't think they would ever get rid of it. My mom is very sentimental. But yes, maybe that's where my cooking and baking obsession began. Also, I want to give you guys a close-up of how these pancakes are looking. They're a little bit beige, I would say. I mean, they're definitely cooked, just touching them, but I do love it when pancakes are more of a golden brown. So I'm hoping this, this batch right here and then whatever's left gets a little bit more brown. And that's probably because I just need to turn up my heat a little bit more. I just don't want to like completely burn them. Oh my gosh, peace and joy. Hi. I love this. This is so fun. The usual suspects. That's what I'm calling all of you. Bob, John, Haystacks the Great, C.L. Hinton, and Peace and Joy. I've inducted you into the usual suspects group. Very cool. So right now for you, Peace and Joy, all right, I'm checking my time. It's 7:50 p.m., so going on 8. It would be going on 6 p.m. for you, I believe, out in Cali, assuming you're in Cali. I'm just making 5:50. Yep, almost 6 p.m. So nice. Northern Cali. Yep. Very nice. So cool. I am, since you just joined, I think I've got 2 pancakes going, and then I've got, I would guess, another couple. It's either going to be 1 monster pancake or 2 little pancakes. We'll see. Don't know what I'm going to do. Luckily, no Kaiser Soze. Howdy, P&J. What's Kaiser Soze? I need to Google this. Usual suspects. Oh, funny. Very funny. Got it. Yeah, I use that phrase, but I actually have never seen the usual suspects. Kaiser Soze. Oh, funny. Oh my gosh. Okay. I love this. Learning something new. Pancakes. I was going to suggest that I could be. Yeah. I love that. Funny. I love you guys. You're so fun to talk to. Turn these up just a tiny bit. And then 3. All right. Gangsters had nightmares about Kaiser lol. Oh my gosh. Okay, so for those of you new here, I was giving a hint about what I was up to this weekend. So I made this and 2 other of these. I'm guessing you can tell it's in a cake pan. So I was making cake this weekend. My birthday is on Friday the 13th. So I'm filming currently. How should I say this? I filmed this weekend. I still have some editing to do, and then there's like more to do with the episode, but I'm posting something on Friday in honor of my Friday the 13th birthday. So since we're on the topic of nightmares and gangsters and stuff like that, I love spooky stuff. I love fall and Halloween and this whole season, but because my birthday lands every so often on Friday the 13th, the last time it happened was 5 years ago in 2019. Yes, I was like, I got to do this because I don't know the next time it'll be on Friday, probably another 5 to 7 years from now. So, okay. I love that you guessed that, C.L. Hinton. And also thank you, Peace and Joy and Hey Sex the Great. I love my birthday. I know some people are iffy, like some people don't like having their birthday, some people don't like getting older. I personally love having my birthday. I think it's so fun. And so I was thinking about doing a Jason cake, But I was looking at, decorations, and I don't have a lot of experience doing like hand fondant type of decorations. So, oh my gosh, Rachel's here. I'm just talking about my spooky cake. I was showing everybody the cake that one of 3 that I made in preparation for my Friday the 13th vlog. So it's, to answer your question, CL Hinton, it's not, visually at least, it's not a Jason Voorhees. I've never known how to say that, Voorhees cake, but it's pretty much a Friday the 13th cake without having Jason on. I was like, oh, I could do like a hockey mask. But I was like, there's just nothing on Amazon I'm seeing that's looking like that. So yes, it's a spooky Friday the 13th cake. Actually, 5 years ago in 2019, when my birthday landed on Friday the 13th, my friend was in town visiting me because her birthday's on the 9th. We were college roommates, very close friends, still are friends. And so because our birthdays are so close, she came to visit me, and we celebrated both of our birthdays. And on Friday the 13th that year, we actually turned on the original Friday the 13th with like the summer camp, Jason Goes Nuts. So that was fun. And we both like scary movies anyways. All right, you should jam Sidewalks and Skeletons Track Friday the 13th. It's just a whole vibe. I've never heard of that before. Sidewalks and Skeletons. I feel like that's a band I should know. I'm just gonna take a photo of that so I have it for reference. Anything spooky, anything on theme, I gotta do. All right, so I'm debating whether this is enough for 2. You know what? I think I'm just gonna make 1 monster pancake and call it good. So I'm gonna grab my little spatula. Actually, no, I'm grabbing my big one. And I am gonna do just 1 large one, because sometimes the little ones, they can just end up burnt, and I don't know. I've made the executive decision. British witch house artist actually coming back to the States next month. Whoa, that's wild. Never heard of them, but sounds really cool. So I think once I'm done with this last mega pancake, I'm going to move you guys back over to where I initially had you on my countertop, so I can actually show you the plate, and I'm going to dish up some fruit, which I bought. All right, so let's move this guy over here, and maybe I'll just move this over here so you can see it just a little bit better, and it'll still be hot. Ooh, this stovetop is really hot right now. I'm gonna go check out the Sidewalks and Skeletons artist, Haystacks the Great. All right, last little drizzle, and let's finish these pancakes off. Definitely, I'm not gonna be able to eat all of these pancakes. There's like 6 right now, and this next one is gonna be a mega one. Maybe that was a mistake, making this all as one. But what I love about making a large batch of pancakes is you just have breakfast ready to go for the next day or 2. All right, let's get this on there. Actually, I think that was a good call, making 1 mega pancake. It won't be too ridiculously large. All right. Cool. This is a little crooked. And 330. Let's see. Just put a hockey mask on top of the cake and candles. That's funny. Yeah, I mean, that would work too. I have to say, though, I found this really cool cake topper on Amazon. So that is going to be on top of the cake. And I'm so excited to assemble this cake and post it for Friday the 13th. Because it's fun. It's spooky. I love that. They can just pop into the toaster for an easy breakfast. Yes. I mean, there's so many things to love about pancakes, but I usually will just have a bowl of Cheerios, just easy cereal to start most of my days, which is fine. But having pancakes is a step up, which I love. They're so good. All right, so since I'm done with the coconut oil, I'm gonna just get the knife out of there and put it away. Hopefully this is hot enough. Okay, and actually, while I wait, I kind of want to wrap this cake. So I was baking these cakes earlier today, and I just wanted them to sit out at room temperature to cool, but now that it's cool, I don't want it just sitting out forever. So I'm going to grab some plastic wrap to cover this. In the meantime, yeah, this cake should be, I don't know. There's one element of the cake that I really want to work for visual effect, but it's going to look good. However it turns out, it's going to be a spooky cake. Oh, I am struggling with this plastic wrap. All right, let's get this on here. You know me, trying to do multiple things at once. Happy early birthday, yay! Thank you, Rach. I am so excited. I got the message from Mom today. So our mom likes to do coffee drops because we all live so close to each other, my parents, me, and my sister. And so my mom messaged me today. Actually, I have to message her back. Yikes. But she was like, I'm your barista for birthday week. What do you want tomorrow? So I'm going to tell her what I want. I'm thinking of saying an iced latte. Yes, I'm making pancakes, Rach. This is literally the last one. I decided to move my camera over to my countertop that's just next to my stovetop because normally it's like I plant the computer way over on my other countertop and it's just like you can't really see as well. So, that did not go well. Goodness gracious. I'm losing to the plastic wrap, guys. All right, mega pancake. 3. Okay. Take 2. Mamarista. That's a great name. Oh my gosh, yes. Yeah, I'm so excited. She did this last year too, where it was literally every day of the week. She brought me coffee. And that's just very generous of her. Okay. Plastic wrap. Just trying to get this all. This is just not very cleanly done, but just trying to knock stuff out while the pancake is still cooking. I had fun. Oh my God, what? Wow, Rach. Talk about eating well. Where did you get pho? That's actually one thing that I want to make on this channel is pho. I have never in my life had pho because every time I've been somewhere and wanted to get it, it was not vegetarian because the broth was, I believe, a beef base. But please let me know where I should get my pho locally because I would love to have some. Oh my goodness. So hot. Oh my gosh. In all these years that I have lived in this neighborhood in Uptown Minneapolis, I have never made it to Rhodosha. And I don't know why. I think it's because I'm biased toward Amazing Thailand. But that sounds amazing, Rach. And then lava cake too. Yeah, and their space is beautiful inside. I remember going in there with you once to see, or not to see, but to just pick up an order that you had placed. And I was like, dang, it's spacious in here. It's super pretty. So one day I will go. Actually, now you have me thinking. I have a friend, you know her, Rachie, Katie. Katie is coming for a teacher conference. So, I mean, you would know because you've been to both. I've only been to one. But I just got a text from Katie, and she's gonna be in Minneapolis in October for a work conference. And so she was asking to meet up, and now I'm like, ooh, I can bring her to Rhodosha, and it'll be new for both of us because she loves that kind of food as well. All right, that is the end of the pancakes. Amazing, we made it. So I'm gonna move this off, and this is still pretty hot. And now I'm gonna move you guys back over to my countertop. Lots of moving of stuff. Yeah, I believe you, Rach. It sounds so good. Okay, so back to the corner where I usually have my computer set up. And then I'm gonna quickly get this plugged back in because my battery dies so quickly. Thank you, Rach. Yeah, I have to grab the fruits that I bought, and then I also have orange juice. Oh, come on. Where is this thing? So close, guys. So close. Turn on the side light. Okay, and then straighten this out. And now I just have to plate up some of these pancakes. But yeah, final product and also my breakfast for the next, I would say 2 days, depending on how many I eat today. Let's just push this up a little bit more. And I put the link to this pancake recipe in the chat if you're curious to know. It's from Nora Cooks. She's amazing. I use her recipes all the time. Like off the top of my head, I made a chocolate tofu pie back in March for Pie Day, and it's phenomenal. So that one was very good. I'm going to grab actually some from the bottom since they're not as hot. It's just, this one is super hot. And then silverware. So close, guys. Can't forget my smoothie. I had pancakes this morning, but now I want more. I say it a lot. If only I could share my food through the camera with all of you. So, okay, let's grab some of this Country Crock plant butter, same butter that I put in my quinoa earlier. And we're just gonna, I try not to put like a ton on my pancakes, just because, I don't know, not trying to eat like a tub of butter, but I do love the flavor. And then I've got maple syrup and some berries. So I'm just gonna plate this up nice and pretty. Oh, hi, Michael. Hello. Thank you for joining. You made it just in time for me to eat some of the pancakes. I made smoothies and put those in my fridge earlier. That's the first thing that I did. And then I cooked up some quinoa for the week. So I wanted to end with pancakes, save the best for last. I have a new show rec for you. It's called The Secret Lives of, oh my God, I saw this advertisement, Rach. So my TV was just like idling, and I got like, the ads that kind of just like roll by when your TV isn't like playing anything. And I saw the ad for The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, and I was like, oh my God. Because I love the housewives. I love the Real Housewives of New York, Orange County, Atlanta, Beverly Hills. I love the spinoff with Lisa Vanderpump. Any of those reality shows, I just love. So I saw that and I was like, oh my God, that looks amazing. So I'm glad to hear that you recommend it, Rachie. That's very, very funny. But I literally saw that ad. It was yesterday, actually. And I've been wanting some more reality TV. I don't watch a ton of reality TV, but I love certain shows. And I would say my favorite reality show that I've ever watched is Selling Sunset. But I don't know when is there another season coming? I think it's really cool to see the properties that the women on that show are selling. They're so wild, so expensive. Houses with the most ridiculous amenities, but like really fun. It makes for like amazing TV. And of course the drama too at the brokerage. Also, a new Survivor season starts. Oh, okay. I'm not a Survivor person, but I'm not a hater. It's just, one of those many shows where I know of it, but it doesn't particularly interest me. All right, so I just put a little bit of this Justin's peanut butter on. I'm getting to the very end of it, but there's still just a tiny bit left. And then I've got some of this Minnesota maple syrup. Just gonna put a tiny bit on. Yeah, my favorite way to eat pancakes is with a little bit of maple syrup, butter, and peanut butter. Okay, and then let's rinse off some of these beautiful raspberries and blackberries. I haven't had blackberries in so long, but these were literally half off at my grocery store, and I was like, okay, it's a sign. I'm gonna go buy them to make this meal extra pretty. But I was eating some of the blackberries and I was like, oh my God, these are so good. What season of Survivor is the franchise on, Rach? I feel like it's some crazy number because it's been around for so long. Oh no, lost a blackberry. I'm gonna dig it out. It's worth it. So there's all of the beautiful berries. And now all I have to do is pour myself a glass of OJ. Just ran to my grocery store and got a little bottle. I don't usually drink a ton of OJ, but what I do like to do is take a tiny shot of it every morning because I figure, okay, it's like a vitamin C shot. You're doing your immune system a little favor every morning. But I don't, sit and drink cups and cups of it. So let me grab a cup. I can find one. So pretty. Definitely American style. I was thinking of getting some scrambled egg mix that's like a vegan version, but it would have been kind of out of the way to go and get that. But I kind of wanted something savory to go with all the sweetness. Like some tofu bacon or something. But we are working with just this. That's kind of a dinky glass of orange juice. What am I doing? A little bit more. All right, it's time to eat. Last little close-up for you guys, though, before I just tear into this. So let me just move my silverware off to the side. So I've got my lovely pancakes with the berries. And then OJ. And smoothie, too, which I've been sipping on. Oh my gosh, wow. Okay, I missed some comments here. Survivor season 47. I mean, I think about this with iPhones too. Eventually they're going to get up to like the 40s, the 50s. I mean, I think it'll be cool to see like the 100th iPhone, which should be in my lifetime if they keep on cranking them out as fast as they have been. That whole bottle of maple syrup would have ended up on my pancakes. Yeah, okay. So I love sweet things. I have a sweet tooth. I mean, I have the cavities to show the candy consumption that took place during my childhood. I've gotten better as an adult, but I just know, I feel like genetically, I just could eat so much sugar all the time. I just love it. So I do obviously eat sweet things, Some of you saw my chocolate chip long form video. I've made cakes. I've made other pancakes. But I try to just be like a little bit careful because I don't want to overdo it with the sugar consumption. I'll never forget, though, one of these like vivid childhood memories. The one time I can remember going to IHOP, which is the International House of Pancakes. I don't know if IHOP exists in other countries outside of the United States, but I just remember I ordered the pancakes that I normally would get like at Perkins or Denny's. But it was so gross. I got strawberry pancakes, and it was just one or two pancakes, and it was a sea of strawberry syrup. And even as a kid, like little sugar addicted 10-year-old me, I just looked at the plate and I was like, that is disgusting. I know. Okay. Yes, I agree with you, Rach. They even have it planned out to season 50. That is super cool. Yeah, I believe you, Rach. I've heard so many people say that about Survivor. Yeah. If IHOP only exists in the US, the name is such a lie. I mean, okay, this is so funny. I feel like America has a way of declaring itself like international or on a world stage, but it's not true because like when our baseball, whoever wins the baseball playoffs or they call it the World Series here. And even as a kid, I was like, but our baseball teams only play each other here. They're not playing other countries, so why are we calling them the World Series champions? And then there was another thing too. Rachie and I were talking about this. about how the US has this thing about like world something something. Maybe it's football? I don't know. If you guys know the track star from the US, his name is Noah Lyles. He's very, very like loud, some would say cocky, but just, yeah, he's like main character energy. I know. It's so frustrating. NBA, okay. Yeah, I feel baseball for sure, NBA. I don't know if I've seen like the Super Bowl champs call themselves world champions. But I feel it makes me laugh because, like, okay, I do love the United States. I love being from this country. I love living in this country. I could go on and on and on about why I'm so glad I was born here. But I would say, like, one of the things that people roll their eyes at is, like, the U.S. is like, we're number one. We're the best in the world. We're the best. We're the this and that. And I feel like the calling yourself the world champion, even when the league is only here, is the funniest, one of the most American. I feel like it's very quintessential American mentality, where it's like, we're number one. So funny. Very mixed opinions. I know. Okay, Rach, I really think I noticed this with the NFL too. Yeah. I guess we are the world champs, guys. So funny. Oh, that's a great question. Oh my God. The most American thing I can think of. It's very unfortunate, but probably like supersize things. Supersize anything. Reigning world champions in baseball. It just makes me laugh. Because like I don't get political on my streams or in my content, but I feel like a lot of people criticize the US for different things. And I'm like, okay, I'm not going to be here saying we have no faults. But at the same time, I'm like, it is a great place. There's just things we do differently than other countries. And I find it very entertaining. RIP to supersized guy from the... No. Rach, that makes me so sad. Even as a kid, okay, if you guys don't know what we're talking about, there's a movie called Super Size Me. Very famous. I mean, and I think he like ate... I'm forgetting the premise. Morgan Spurlock. Oh, that bums me out. I can even picture the movie cover. It's him looking at the camera. His eyes are like super wide and he has like fries, McDonald's fries sticking out of his mouth to kind of show like, you know, the size of the portions. Oh no. Oh, that's so sad. Oh, that makes me so sad. Shoot. Dang. Rest in peace, man. Oh, dang. Shoot. That's so sad to hear. That movie is amazing, though. I need to rewatch it. I think I watched it in an age where I didn't have, like, a full appreciation for the point he was trying to make. Yeah, that's a shame. That completely... I did not catch that news headline of his passing. Yeah, Rach, I'm still thinking about your question, like the most American thing there is. Aside from like portion sizes, unfortunately, okay, this is painful, but I feel like we don't have enough vacation time based on what he ate only McDonald's for a month. Okay, that was the premise. Okay. I was thinking when you said that he passed away, it might have actually been from like a long-term like chronic issue resulting from his McDonald's diet. But I mean, that would have been pretty long after the fact. But one thing I was going to say, in the US, I feel like, I don't know about how other countries compare, but like, I just don't think we have enough vacation time. Like, I remember telling a friend of mine from the UK about a new job I was starting way back in 2018. And he was asking me all these things like, oh, so like, you know, what are you going to be doing? What do you blah, blah, blah. And then he's like, so how many vacation days do you get? And I was like, I get 10. And he's like, are you kidding me? You only get 10? And for me, I was like, well, yeah, that's like 2 full weeks. It's, Monday through Friday twice. And he was like, dude, like in the UK, or at least where he's from in the UK, he's like, baseline starting job, you get 30 days. And I noticed this too in Germany because I lived in Munich for a year. And it was wild because I worked as an English teacher there. And so I was like on staff teaching at a couple schools. And it literally felt like every other week they're like, oh yeah, we don't have like, it's a holiday on Wednesday next week. It's a holiday on Friday. And we get 2 weeks for Christmas and 1.5 weeks for Easter. And I was just like, the American in me was just like dying a little inside because I was like, we get Christmas Day and Christmas. I actually haven't had Christmas Eve off in a while, and no Easter Monday at all. So yes, I feel that, CL Hinton. Oh my gosh. Because I feel like myself, I lean toward individualism. And I noticed this in Germany particularly, where I just kind of was like, wow, they do so much stuff like in a group. Like you go out to like the beer garden after work, and you there's like cohorts that go to like university, and then cohorts that go to trade schools, and cohorts that go to the whatever, like other service industries. And it just was so like communal, which is fine. But like being raised here, I was like, I don't know how I feel about this. It was like the first time I noticed that kind of like American mentality of like, it's about the individual, not so much about like the whole group of people. And there's pros and cons to all of this. But yeah, individualism for sure. I would say to our credit, individualism. I think the best part of individualism is it's like it encourages people to be exceptional, be different, go after their, pursue their unique talents. You don't necessarily have to fall in line with everyone else. I would say in its worst, like the other side of the coin is like, you like, it's good to keep everyone in like, I think when it's so individualistic, some people can be left behind. I don't know. I'm very like mixed. I'm not like, this is the best way to do it. But growing up here, I think there's pros and cons. I'll just leave it at that. Yeah, oh my God, that's a great point. That is such a great point. Okay. I have so many thoughts on this because in the US, I feel like it is like unless you live in like New York, that's kind of the only major metropolitan area I can think of where it's normal to not own a car. All my friends who live in New York do not own cars. DC too, you can get away with it. I don't own a car. I've never owned a car. I don't want to have the hassle of dealing with like parking, car thefts, insurance, gas, like all the extra chores that you sign up for when you have a car. But even like here in the Minneapolis metro area, it's very uncommon to not have a car. And so it's like people are so surprised that I don't have a car. And I'm like, well, New Yorkers don't have cars. I mean, they just take the metro, they take the bus, they get around. But yeah, I feel like when I lived in Germany and I traveled to other countries in Europe, there was so much use of bicycles and public transportation. And it's just not the same here. I wish it was more common for people to just walk, bike, and use public transit. And Uber, like that's another go-to. If like I'm running short on time and a bus is like super delayed, I'll use Uber to fill in the patches. One of my friends who you've met, Ariel. Oh my gosh, that's amazing! Oh my god, that is so amazing, Rach. I love that. And a USA themed party. Oh my god, I'm thinking like bacon, cowboy hats, peanut butter, Hershey's chocolate, football, Thanksgiving, like everything that's unique to the US. Walmart, LOL. We don't really treat a social good as a necessity. Yeah, like I don't think any of us should have. That's yeah, yep. Totally. I totally agree with you, CL Hinton. I'm wearing overalls and a USA hat. Oh my gosh, that is amazing. Also, that's really cool that Ariel is he's getting his citizenship. That's so cool. Because man, oh man. Fun fact for everybody, I worked in immigration for like 3 years. And like our green card line, basically there's like a long line of people waiting to become US citizens. And for some countries where like 1 million people want to come to the US, the wait time is like years and years and years and years and years to wait to change your status to a citizen from a green card holder, which to me would just be the worst kind of limbo. Because a lot of these people whose visas I was working on, they had kids, they had houses, they had employment. I mean, obviously they had to work to maintain their visa status. But I was like, dude, I would find it so hard to be completely at peace if I had a spouse who was either an American citizen or another immigrant like myself, and then American kids because they were born here. And like your status is not yet full citizen. And so like, that would be a lot of pressure to live under. I'm wearing overalls and yeah, okay, CL Hinton. Yep, I could tell that's what you meant with your comment. Yeah. Something that's really interesting. So like I got my Master of Public Health degree last year, and a huge topic in our classes is the fact that the US doesn't have universal health care. And a lot of people are like, we don't need that. That's a bad idea. That's this and that. And a lot of people are like, well, you know, all these other, literally every other like developed country has some kind of universal health care. So I think that's like a really hot topic with people who are like, no, it's basically up to you to you know, work your job and get your health insurance through that. And there shouldn't be, the government shouldn't get involved in healthcare for everybody. But a lot of people are like, but look at Canada, look at Germany, look at France. Oh no, Haystacks the Great. Oh no. That's like very unfortunate, but kind of funny at the same time. The question is very honest. Wow. Yeah, I would guess if I was in her position, I would maybe feel a little bit conflicted, but I don't know. I don't know the situation. You got a call. Oh yeah, make your call, CL Hinton. I might not be here since it's we're already 2.5 hours into this, but I'll just say bye to you now. In case I probably will be off in the next few minutes. When is the last time you ate real butter? Great question. Honestly, okay. I'm gonna be fully transparent here. I like to joke that I'm vegan for like pretty much all my life, but I'm vegetarian for dessert. The reason being, I love sweets, I love baked goods, and often what makes dessert items not vegan is the butter content, the milk, and the eggs. So I would say within, like, to answer your question, Michael, I would say the last time I ate real butter, it was probably unknowingly, but it was in some kind of baked dessert, like a cookie I had at a reception or a piece of cake at a party. I would sometime this summer. I'm sure I went to like some kind of office event, like at my office. Whenever we have monthly meetings, one of the leaders will bring in like poppy seed bread or scones, and I never check to see if those are vegan because it's kind of a moot point at that point. Bye, CL Hinton. Thank you for joining. This was such a fun stream. And I'm so glad that I was able to actually like finish everything and show you and just like chat and eat. You know, the last few times it's been like a mad dash to the finish. 4 hours later, 5 hours later. Way too ambitious with the amount of time. When was the last time you ate meat? Another great question. Okay, unintentionally, like by mistake, this has happened to me multiple times at Chipotle, but it honestly doesn't bother me. I'm not one of those vegans where it's like, if my food has touched an animal product, I will not eat it. Like I don't really care. Oh, bye, Bob. Bye. Thank you, Rach. If you're heading off, bye. Fish included. I would say the last time I ate meat, I'm gonna count it as like intentionally because there have been a few times at Chipotle, like what I was saying, I was eating like my veggie bowl and then there was like I bit into something or took a bite and I could tell it was like chicken. So a few mistakenly eating meat incidents have happened. The last time I ate meat on purpose was in 2019 because I was training for a marathon and I just had a really intense craving for meat with all of the running I was doing and just nothing else sounded good. So I ate a ton of fish in 2019 when I was training for that marathon. And I really do like fish, honestly. Like I don't eat it at all now. But I'm not going to stand here and say like you should, I'm not in the business of telling people what they should eat. I just like sharing the food that I like to eat, and that's kind of where it stops. Well, everybody, I see we've got 3 people left. I don't know which of the 3 of all the people I've been talking to, but I'm thinking of wrapping this up. Fish is great. That's good. No pushy on your beliefs. I have a straight hardcore vegan, but we still friends even though I eat meat. Yeah, honestly, I am very, very put off personally by the hardcore, like hardline vegans. Because in my head, I'm like, I don't think that's a strategically good way to try to win people to your cause. I think if anything, you're gonna like make people upset, or I don't think it's. Food is so personal too, It's tied to traditions, religion, your family, dishes you loved growing up, allergies. For example, like soy is in so many vegan foods. And there are some people who have who are deathly allergic to soy. So in a lot of cases, eating plant-based stuff, especially if it's like tofu based or soy milk based, like that's just not a good approach. So I try to be very calm about it. Also, for the first 18 years of my life, I ate literally everything except like animal body organs. Like we didn't eat like brain, stomach, hoof, like none of that. But we literally ate like every kind of meat, every kind of cheese. So I'm like, I also liked I loved the food we ate growing up. It was really tasty. I can still remember like how I can look at like a deli sandwich with pastrami and salami and cheese, and I'm like, in my head, I know exactly how that tastes, and it's so good, even though I don't eat that anymore. But yes, Rach, we're on the same page. Anything in any domain of my life, if I encounter and it's like very dogmatic, you must do this, or it's just very black and white, I'm like, I don't know. It kind of like gives me the heebie-jeebies. I mean, honestly, we probably did knowing we hated. I know, as I was saying that, I was like, oof, like, we probably did check off all the body parts when I think about eating, like, bologna. Just early 2000s bologna. I asked ChatGPT what was in bologna the other day, and that's a ChatGPT prompt that I may regret having asked. It was hilarious, though, to hear what's in it. I'm all for people taking strong stances depending on what causes the situation, but overall balance is good. Not pushy is good. I used to be pushy. No, life is more peaceful. Yeah. Yep, Oscar Mayer. That was, I can still remember the jingle of Oscar Mayer. And it was honestly really great. Like, like I said, I loved the foods I ate growing up. I loved all the deli meats. I loved making sandwiches. I loved Thanksgiving. Like we would have beef tenderloin for Thanksgiving. I remember thinking that was so good. We had bacon, chicken, fettuccine Alfredo was my go-to at Olive Garden. Like literally all of the dairy, all of the eggs, all of the meats. It was so good. So yeah, I'm perfectly happy having grown up not vegan, and I just kind of came to a vegan lifestyle at 18. And even then, honestly, I can't do meat anymore. Yes, that is exactly the jingle I will always remember with Oscar Mayer. Now when I think of eating steak as a meal, I'm like, yeah, seriously. Okay, so I, at this point, like if I went to a dinner party and the host had made me this beautiful meal, I'm just thinking of a situation where like you want to be like courteous and not just like completely turn someone down that's like really hard. It's like I've been in foreign countries where like it was really slim pickings for veggie options, and like so-and-so had just cooked a beautiful meal and it was like all meat with a little bit, and I'm like, oh no, what do I do? I don't want to be rude, but I can't do meat because I will get ill. Like I can't stomach eating meat anymore. But I would say the only exception is fish. I love salmon. Last time I had it was 2019, but like, oh my God, I love salmon. Fish and chips. That's probably like my all-time favorite trash food dish, even though I don't eat it anymore. It's so good. Oh my God. Hi, Mom. I didn't know you were here. You're right, Hannah. No organ meats in our house. And happy birthday week. Thank you. Oh my gosh, amazing. Yeah, we're just talking about vegan stuff, and I try to keep it chill. I'm so put off. Like if someone is preaching to me about like what I should do, and they're like, you need to do this, you need to do that. Like there's, unfortunately, like in my neck of the woods, there is this guy who will occasionally be by the lakes. And every time you walk past him or run past him, he just shouts at you like, do you want to know what you need to do to get to heaven? And I was like, well, like, I think you care because you're spending your whole afternoon out here, but it's when I'm being told how I should live my life, oh my God, that bothers me so much. I can't stand it. Hello, Miss Ruby Red Wing, the preacher guy. Hey, I mean, another American thing, which is probably in other countries too, but it's like, I am 100% here for free speech. Like, you want to hate my video and comment on it? That's fine. Because it's like, I'd rather live in a place where you can do that as opposed to a place where you can't. But of course, like, if we're going to live in a place with free speech, you are going to have people on the street corner who are like handing you scripture or telling you should eat this or yelling at you for buying this or whatever. So it comes with the territory. It comes with the First Amendment, but I will always stand by the First Amendment for my whole life. So there you go. Here's my American soapbox moment. Miss Ruby Red Wing. I don't know for how much of the stream you were here, but I made a plate full of pancakes. Well, I've eaten 2 of them, but I've got some pancakes to start my birthday week. So excited. Also, too, I'm guessing the 4 people here are Mom, Michael, Rachel, and I don't know who the 4th would be. But I'll just show you, because I don't think Michael was here when I was showing the cake before. But I've been busy baking this weekend, and these are 2 of the 3 cakes that I worked on, and they're just currently chilling in the fridge. But I'm making a special celebratory cake because my birthday is on Friday. Are those red velvet? Yes. Oh, Haystacks, you're the 4th person. I thought you might still be here. Yes, they're red velvet. Yep. I almost called this, Mom, I'm responding to your comment, breakfast for supper throwback. I almost called this live French country supper because I just remember that was like the fancy term, which just made me laugh. You have a lucre. That's what they're called when they... Oh, a lucre. Oh, I see what you mean. Okay. That literally took like a while for me to understand, but I get you, Rach. Sorry, I've been soldering 780 LEDs. Whoa, that sounds hard. Oh, Peace and Joy is still here. Lurker. Okay. Thank you. I was confused there for a second. Okay. I understand what's going on now. I remember thinking that strawberry frozen yogurt was super healthy. Me too. I was like, okay, it's yogurt and it's frozen. So therefore I can eat half of the bucket. And now I've eaten yogurt. Yeah, your typo. I was like, lucre? What's a lucre? But yes, to answer Haystacks the Great's question, it's red velvet. I'm making a spooky themed cake because my birthday falls on Friday the 13th, which I love. It only happens every like 5 to 7 years. Those nights when I didn't want to cook but wanted it to sound fancy. Yep. I mean, we didn't know and we loved it. I think what's funny about it is it's the dinner that you spent the least amount of time on your feet preparing. And it's the one that I remember the most and loved the most by far. Because it was such a fun departure from the normal, like, I don't know, like pastas. And I feel like it was more traditional, like dinner dishes or meats. Also, okay, on the frozen yogurt thing, isn't it crazy how fast group places like Yogurt Lab boomed because it was like healthier than... Yeah, I know. I think about that every time I go past that building where Yogurt Lab used to be. I was like, Wow, that really was all the rage in high school. I remember friends talking about like, oh, I'm going to the yogurt lab. Um, yeah, froyo places, not. No, you're right. I've actually, so I can remember froyo places. It's so crazy. So like they were such a big thing in high school. And then going to college right after that, there were all of these froyo places in my college town, and everyone would meet up there for whatever, you name it. It was like such a cool, fun, casual meetup spot. And I feel like I even heard like Alex Hormozy talk about froyo, like he and Layla met up for froyo on like one of their first dates. Um, and now I'm just like, does anyone go to like, is froyo even alive anymore? I haven't seen it anywhere. Oh, someone trying to be fresh like Luke Perry. Funny. I know, my first thought went to Luke Skywalker. I was like, what's this? I worked there, remember? Yes. Yogurt Lab and Park. Yogurt! Oh my god, Park Yogurt, I forgot. So funny. Wow. Peace and joy. Today was stunning. So I went for a long run today. We've been having like it's felt like autumn weather here. So yesterday I ran, was it yesterday or the day before? I think it was yesterday. It was like 68 degrees, sunny skies, light breeze, like very comfortable. And then I know in California, I don't know, some Californians would be like, oh my God, that's freezing. But it was beautiful. And then today it was 77 when I went out for my long run. So a little bit hotter, but there was a beautiful breeze. I run around like lakes. So again, like very sunny, tons of people out. So yes, we're transitioning into fall here in Minneapolis, which is very exciting. How about you in Northern Cali? Oh, you said very hot. Sorry, I missed that. When you say very hot, I'm guessing if it's a Californian saying very hot, was it like 90s? Because in my book, that's like, we were stuck in the 90s. It felt like for weeks here. It probably was only like a couple weeks. Oh no, 100 degrees. Honestly, so I run 6 days a week, and I try to run like at a low heart rate, and it's just a nightmare. Anytime the temperature or the heat index is like at 90 or above, because I'm like going at a snail's pace, trying to just keep my heart rate low. And it's just my heart rate monitor is just like buzzing every minute because it's like, you're way too high, you're in the wrong zone. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to walk this run because it's X number of miles. It would take me hours to do it if I just walk. But running in hot weather is so frustrating. 2 hours by the beach, foggy, cool, cold. Ooh. I mean, that sounds really beautiful. My friend said he was in San Francisco working. Okay. Beautiful. But 100 degrees, that's brutal. I think there was a few days where here I read the temperature and it was like 91, 92, but I looked at the heat index and the humidity was raising it way up into like 100 plus digits. Pretty. I think North Cali has really beautiful weather. When I was there in 2017, it was the summer of 2017. I remember thinking it was so unusual, like the fog around the Golden Gate Bridge. Yeah, it's brutal. It is brutal. And I have tried. I really have given it a good try multiple times to do my workout first thing in the morning, super, super early. But I mean, the bonus is like you get it out of the way for the whole day, and the temperatures are so much cooler in the morning. But I just felt completely burnt when I would try to do my runs in the morning, because I would show up for work at 9 a.m. and all I wanted to do, like, I could barely keep my eyes open, and all I wanted to do was just sleep. And I was like, oh my God, now I have to work for 8 hours and I'm so tired. So I've tried, but I'm an evening runner for sure, like afternoon, evening. And in the summer, it is just wicked hot sometimes. So it is frustrating not being a morning person. Did you walk the bridge? No, we did a tour bus that kind of drove us around the Bay Area. It was really cool on the bus, but I would have loved to walk the bridge. What did you think of the Golden Gate Bridge and that it's not golden? Yeah, I guess I didn't think about that too much, which is funny. But I thought it was really cool. I thought it was very picturesque. We were able to kind of escape the fog and get to a lookout point almost. Like, we exited the bridge and then went to this higher up place, and then you could see the bridge and then the fog on it from a distance. So I thought the weather and the variety, it's like the fog and then being out of the fog was really cool. Did you know that for many years now, at least one person jumps off the gold? I know that it's such a sad thing, but I've thought that with anytime I've crossed a bridge, like a big one, like in New York, I should know these bridge names, but I'm like, oh no, like, it's sad that people, go to bridges when they're at their end, but yeah, it does cross my mind. Like, I was up north in Minnesota, and there's a bridge that connects Duluth to Wisconsin, to Superior, Wisconsin. North and Mountain Side Lookout area. Yes. I think that's where we stopped and took our photos. It was beautiful. Very beautiful. North End, Marin side. Yeah, that's crazy. That was now, what, 7 years ago? Over 7 years ago, because it was summer of 2017. And we did that as a family trip when my sister was done with college, as her celebration trip. And she loves California, so it was really cool to see it, because we had gone there once as a family, but I was in 3rd grade, I want to say 2nd or 3rd, and we did the hotel stay, we did Disneyland, drove around, went to Laguna Beach. It was great, but it was fun to go back that ways to out to California when I was just about 23. Because it's different when you're a little kid and all I wanted to do was go to Disneyland. And as an adult, I was like, oh, this is cool. And we drove all the way from Minnesota. So we saw the orange, do you call them orchards? Orange orchards, and the kind of more rural grassy hill areas. Yeah, it was just a very fascinating drive to make. And I would do it again. Great question. This is so quintessential Bay Area. But in college, I was an RA. What are those things called? Resident assistant or something. One of the guys that I was an RA with my senior year got a job at Google in San Fran right out of college. And so when my family, we all were going out there, I was like, who do I know in San Francisco? And I messaged my friend, Adrian, and I was like, hey, I'm in town. Want to hang out? And he's like, I could show you the Google campus. And I was like, that sounds really cool. So we met up, and you just wear a visitor badge. They just print it off for you, and it says, your name, visitor. So that was amazing. Just to see, I was like, oh my God, this is Google. Like, this is the Google campus. Super nice. I mean, I would say like as pretty and as luxe as like a corporate campus gets. What other things? Oh, we saw the houses that are like on the hill. I should know the name of them, but it's like those beautifully colored houses that sit in a row that are like, I think they're very well known and iconic. God, what else? Such a blur. Because we also did Las Vegas on that trip. The Full House houses. The Painted Ladies. I almost said like lady slippers. I was like, that's not right. But the lady part was sticking in my head. God, what else did we do? I'm remembering so much Vegas that I'm not remembering as much of San Fran. I mean, I remember walking around, really liking it. Loved our hotel. Haight Ashbury, yes. We went to this one, I think we went to a cafe where Miley Cyrus had eaten there. It was like Yellow Sunshine or something like that. Oh, and then we went to a museum, right? I think oh my God, it was like a retro Haiti Ashbury. Wait, okay, help me out, Mom and Rach. We went to a museum there. It was like there was like 60s protest stuff. It was like Real Men Say No to like, I think it was Vietnam. The Summer of Love, yes. Yep, I remember that so clearly because the fashion, like they had the exhibit things with like rock stars jackets and all that stuff. Grove Street, right, in those few blocks, and you go one block down the street and there's Projects in the Hood. Yeah, I mean, I remember we stayed in like the main part of San Francisco. At least it felt like it because it was like hotel, busy streets, parks and whatever, and you could walk to anything. But I do remember seeing homeless people there too. And I know, having listened to so many content creators talk about expensive areas to live, I've heard about people, for example, like teachers who teach in the public schools in the San Francisco area, and they cannot afford to live anywhere close to where their school is if the school's like very much in the middle of it all. And so they have to drive like 1 or 2 hours. Like their houses are 1 or 2 hours away because they can't afford living in the city on a teacher's salary. De Young Museum in the park, Golden Gate. I remembered the name De Young Museum, but I don't think we went there. I'm not remembering that museum, but the name is ringing a bell. I think there was another museum we wanted to go to. I feel like it was more of a techie one, like Caltech or something. But we didn't have time. Yeah, oof. I need to like revisit some photos from that trip because it's been a while. 7 years. I think it was the oh, maybe we did go there. I don't know. All right, everybody. For the 4 of you who are still on this stream, I think I am going to call it a night because I got a lovely, you can't really see it, but I got a nice sink full of dishes to do. I'm just going to throw them in my dishwasher. I'm going to clean up, get ready for tomorrow because I've got work. But this was very fun. I'm glad I could make some pancakes for dinner. It's one of my favorite dinners, honestly, even though it's not very traditional. So I'm going to sign off. Did you go to Ocean Beach or the Cliff House? I don't think we went to either of those. But like I said, I really feel like I gotta like revisit that trip because I think there are a lot of patches in my memory since it was that many years ago. Double checked. Yep, DeYoung. Oh, nice. Thanks, Mom. All right. I'm gonna sign off now. Thank you, Rach. Yeah, I'm so excited. Beginning of birthday week. Also, Mom, I will let you know coffee stuff for this week. Oh, hey, Sax is still here. Cool. Have a good night. Have a good birthday. Thank you. Cannot wait. So excited. For many years, I planned on doing a tour service in San Francisco, being born and raised there, but since I moved about 3 hours away. Oh, no. Well, it could happen. You never know. You're still 3 hours away. You didn't move like across the country to Florida or something. So don't rule it out. Peace and joy. Could still happen. All right. With that, I am going to sign off. The next time I go live, I'll probably be 31, which is what I'm turning on Friday. So with that, thank you so much for everybody still here. It was great chatting with you. And I've got quite a few videos going up this week starting tomorrow. So keep an eye out for those, especially on Friday, because that's the spooky Friday the 13th episode. So I will see you on my next live, and take care. Have a good evening / morning, wherever you may be. Bye.